You saw the title and thumbnail. Let's jump right into it. Tip number 1. Vulture Aid Picky Eater. This just makes it so that you have a higher chance with every kill you get to have a drop of the equipment that you have in your hotbar at the moment. So this doesn't necessarily have to be your tactical or lethal. It'll be both. As such, I do recommend having a monkey bomb, because if you're able to get a kill and then they drop the decoys, well, the decoys are great, but monkey bombs last much longer, which you'll need whenever you're shooting the artifact in the air. So I highly recommend having monkey bombs along with the Picky Eater Augment on Vulture Aid. Tip number 2, Deadshot Augments. I recommend Dead Again and Dead Break. Dead Break will make it so that you break armor easier. Dead Again just makes it so that you possibly get a bullet back into your mag and or just gun in general, whenever you get a headshot successfully hit. And that is good for ammo conservation, which of course is good for the entire boss fight. Tip number 3, PhD Slider. This basically guarantees you kills, unless it's I believe the armored zombies sometimes take 2 hits, and the artifact ones don't even try to slide into them, but regular non-armored zombies are going to, and vermin as well, are going to be 1 hit with the PhD Slider. And that goes hand in hand with tip number 4, Aether Shroud. I highly recommend you use Aether Shroud along with extra charge. The strat here is if you have, let's say, monkey bombs and 2 charges of Aether Shroud, and you have 2 people with 2 of those, you're talking 8 basically abilities for 1 person to distract the zombies and have free reign. So even if you have 2 people or 3 people, this is still really important because it gets you constant damage onto the artifact and ensures that you have enough distractions for each phase of the boss fight. If you don't have a second person, it's still really good because you can slide into zombies and get basically infinite kills more or less, recharging your Aether Shroud field upgrade. So I highly recommend using Aether Shroud. Tip number 5, I recommend that the first 3 perks in your perk tree, I guess you'll call it, for lack of a better word, that you get if you're not using a perkaholic, of course, would be Jug, Speed Cola, and PhD. Jug because it's Juggernog. Speed Cola to recharge the Ice Staff quicker, and PhD, again, to ensure that you get enough kills to recharge the field upgrade over and over and over again. Tip number 6 is a weird one. I did this using the Fang Orange Tier Pap 3. You should be seeing the build that I use on the screen right now. But I've heard that the ASG is apparently meta with this boss. If you're in the COD Zombie community, you probably have seen some bigger names talk about this. I've yet to test it out personally, but I guess the ASG is really good. I can't vouch for that, but I do want to get that across just in case that you're unaware. Regardless, I did use the Fang, and the Fang is really good for constant damage with the extra high capacity magazine 3. Etc, etc. So I recommend using an LMG or high capacity magazine AR, and if you don't have either of those, then I guess ASG, but again, I cannot personally vouch for that. Tip number 7, you want to shoot the ice staff in front of you when you're walking forward. That sounds stupid, but trust me, it's easy to have, say, 3 or 4 special zombies chasing you, and then look behind and shoot at them. That's not what you want, because you're trying to create distance between you and them, and it takes a second for that, I'll call it bullet, from the ice staff to hit the ground and to turn to an ice storm. So by shooting it in front of you, you're basically giving yourself a buffer to allow it to boot up and do its thing, so that you can then create space between you and the enemies when they pass through that ice storm. You just obviously have to make sure that A, you're looking not in front of you at the enemies, but in front of the enemies in front of you. So 2 enemies ahead basically at all times, to make sure you're not going to slide into the wrong type of enemy. Number 1 and number 2, this also means that you're not going to have your back covered all the time, but trust me, there will be less times you have to worry about your back and more times you have to worry about what's in front of you with this Easter egg boss fight. Tip number 8. This one's important. The Ice Staff charge shot only slows down the regular zombies when they have the artifact in them. If it's a special zombie or an elite zombie, they do not slow down. What I mean by this is when you have, say, an amalgam chasing you with the artifact in it, or you have a mimic, or you have a doppelgas, they will not slow down when you fire at them using the Ice Staff. The regular zombies do. They slow down, but not the special elite zombies. So if you see an amalgam, mimic, or doppelgas chasing you and it has a symbol, artifact symbol in its body, it will not slow down the ice storm. So just be aware of that. Tip number 9, you want to stand on top of the stairs when shooting the artifact. This is totally up to interpretation, but I think this is the way to do this personally. You want to be at eye level. It makes it easier to control recoil. It's not too far from the artifact, and it's easier also to distract the enemies. What I mean by that is, let's say that you throw a monkey or even a decoy, and you throw it across map. Now that's more distance they have to cover in order to get back to you. instead of running straight to you after decoy. They have to run away from you and then back to you. So it's easier in general for yourself to shoot at the artifact from the top of the stairs. Tip number 10, always distract the enemies while you're shooting the artifact. That sounds really obvious, but I've seen people not do this, and I don't get why. If you have 2 or more people in it, it's not that hard to distract them. Make sure you always have the ability to not get interrupted when you're shooting the artifacts. And if it's just yourself, this is probably the only way I can imagine someone doing it. The ability to shoot at the artifact without getting hit is huge. Of course, if that doesn't happen, or if your Aether Shroud goes away too quickly, having Juggernog with the augment that makes so that it stuns the enemies around you, I believe that's the last augment you get on Juggernog, is still really good because it gives you that extra 1 or 2 seconds that you might need in order to defeat the artifact. Bonus tip, there is a current glitch as of, what day is today, the 31st? 11/30, January 31st, very long month, by the way. That if you shoot the Ice Storm, any zombies that are in the Ice Storm, while they are in it, if you pull out the hand cannon, they will take constant hand cannon damage while you're aiming at them. I don't get why. I'm sure that's probably on their list to fix in the coming days, but just be aware, if you are shooting at them with the hand cannon, or you don't even have to shoot, I should say that. If you just hold the hand cannon out and you aim at them, it will damage the zombies as long as they're caught in the Ice Storm. It's really weird. I don't get why, but that's another bonus good tip. Alright, that's all I had. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, show support, get some more, make more videos just like this one. And I hope that these 10 tips help you. If they do, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any tips of your own, let me know. I can't guarantee that this isn't going to change. Like, maybe they will make it one day where all special and elite zombies get affected by the Ice Storm if they have the symbol in them, or stuff like that. But it's definitely, this is something that is up to date as of, again, 11:30 p.m. January 31st. I love you all. Have a blessed day. May God bless you. Somebody somewhere loves you, even if you don't know it yet, and Jesus loves you. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Thank you so much to the channel members. Currently in the old days tier, we have Sinful Gaming. In the modern times, we have Lord Taco. And in the future tier, we have Apocalypse Super. Thank you so much for the support, you guys. It really does mean the most to me, and it means the world. And I appreciate you all. And, side note, happy 1 month membership to Lord Taco and Apocalypse Super. Thank you guys again.